For years, the idea of a fully autonomous vehicle,
the dream of a car
one
that could
where you
drive
simply
itself,
sit back,
was confined
type
to the
in your
realm of science
destination,
fiction.
and let the car do the rest, sounded
In
like
Arizona,
something pulled
a
straight
new
out of
chapter
science
has
fiction.
begun. Recent
But that
regulatory
vision
approvals
is
now
no
permit
longer a
Tesla's
distant
autonomous.
dream. Just this past
then,
week, Tesla
future
officially received
arrives.
approval from the
Not
Arizona
in a sterile
Department of
laboratory,
Transportation
but on
to
the
begin
familiar
testing
street.
its self-driving robotaxi service in the
a
Phoenix
city that embraced
metropolitan
the future.
area. The announcement reported by Reuters isn't just another news headline. It marks a pivotal
Arizona's
moment
welcoming
in Elon
climate
Musk's
and forward-thinking
long-standing
regulations
ambition
have
to
attracted
roll
major
out an
players like
autonomous
Cruise.
ride-hailing network that could
Arizona's
eventually reach
proactive
half
approach
of
to
the U.S.
regulation created a
population.
fertile ground for AV
Why is
innovation,
this such a
offering
big deal?
clarity and support that
First, Arizona
Tesla
has long been
envisions a
considered
future
the
where its
frontline
vehicles
testing
operate
ground
as a
for
vast,
autonomous
interconnected
vehicles in the United
robotaxi
States.
network.
The Phoenix area in
Tesla's
particular
existing
has served as a
supercharger
proving
network,
ground for
a
major
testament to
players
its
in the
early
industry.
vision, will form the
Waymo, the
backbone of its
Alphabet
future
subsidiary,
autonomous
has been
mobility.
running a
During the pilot
robotaxi
program,
service
the
there
human
for several
safety
years,
operator was the
while
critical
Cruise,
link,
backed by
ensuring
General
public
Motors,
trust and
also tested
meticulously
in the
collecting
region
vital data.
before being forced
Every
to
mile
suspend
driven by our
operations
pilot program
due to
vehicles is a
regulatory
data point.
and safety concerns.
This torrent of real-world information
With
is the
Tesla now
lifeblood of
joining
our
the race in
AI.
Arizona, the state is reaffirming its
The
role
global
as the
economy is a
epicenter of
colossal engine,
self-driving innovation.
and transportation is its lifeblood.
Second,
But what if
for
the very-
Tesla,
While established players
the
focused on
Robotaxi
optimizing their
project
existing
isn't
models,
just
a
another
new
product
competitor
launch.
was quietly
It
building a
represents
future
the
where the
future
driver
identity
is
of the
obsolete.
company itself. Elon Musk has repeatedly claimed that Tesla's
The
robotaxi
economic
network
case for autonomous
will redefine
vehicles
the
is
company's
compelling.
valuation, potentially dwarfing the
As
importance of
autonomous
its current
vehicles
electric
become
vehicle
commonplace,
lineup,
they are
including
not just
the popular
changing how
Model
we
3
travel,
and Model
but
Y.
fundamentally reshaping. Autonomous
In
vehicles
conversations
promise
with
to be more than
investors,
just a
Musk
new
has
mode of
emphasized
transport.
that Tesla's
They are a
ultimate
pathway
vision
to greater
is not to
independence
remain
and
just a car
inclusion.
manufacturer,
Autonomous
but to
vehicles
evolve
are
into
not
a
just a
global
technological
autonomous
leap.
mobility platform.
They represent
in
a
his
fundamental
words,
shift
the
in how
ability
we
to deploy
connect.
millions of self-driving cars as
In the
shared
quiet dawn of
robotaxis
Phoenix, Arizona,
could be the most
a
profound
new
step
era of
in Tesla's
transportation
journey.
was about to begin.
According to Reuters,
As this
Tesla
technology
first filed
matures,
its application
its
to
integration
Arizona
into the
regulators
fabric of our
back in
cities
June.
becomes not just a
Now that
possibility.
approval has been
In the
granted,
heart of global
the company
finance,
can
the
move forward
robotaxi
with pilot
revolution is
tests.
not just a
Though with
technological
one
marvel,
important
but a
condition,
colossal
a human
economic
safety
opportunity.
operator will remain inside the vehicle
This
during
is
early
not
trials.
just transportation.
This hybrid
It's the
approach
reimagining
is both
of
cautious and
urban life.
strategic. It reassures regulators
At the heart
and
of
the public
Tesla's
that
autonomous
safety
driving
is the
system
top
lies a
priority,
fundamental philosophy.
while also giving Tesla
Vision
the
is
opportunity
key.
to showcase
Tesla's
the
approach
capabilities
is to
of its
see the
full
world as
self-driving
humans do.
FSD system
Its
under
cameras,
real-world
positioned
conditions.
around the vehicle, act
The broader
as its
context
eyes.
reveals just how high the stakes are.
While competitors invest
Analysts
heavily in
project that the
expensive
global
LiDAR and radar
robotaxi
systems,
market
Tesla
could be worth
leverages its
hundreds of
vast
billions
camera
of
network.
dollars within the
The true
next
power of
decade.
Tesla's
For
AI
Tesla's
lies not
success
just
in
in
this
its
space
sophisticated
wouldn't just
algorithms,
mean
but in
going
the
head-to-head
continuous,
with
massive
competitors
data
like
stream
Waymo and Cruise. It could also disrupt traditional
The
ride-hailing
camera-only
services
approach has
like
unlocked
Uber and Lyft.
unprecedented cost efficiencies.
Imagine a near future where you don't need to hail a human driver at all. Instead, you open the Tesla app, and an autonomous vehicle arrives at your doorstep.
The promise of
offering
autonomous
lower
vehicles
costs,
is immense,
consistent service,
but the path
and
to
a
widespread
futuristic
adoption
experience.
is fraught with unseen
This
dangers.
approval in Arizona is therefore more than
As
just
the
a
technology
milestone.
advanced, so
It's a
did the
clear
scrutiny.
signal that the
In the halls
autonomous
of power,
mobility
the
revolution
promise of
is
driverless
accelerating,
futures faced.
and Tesla once again is positioning
But the road to
itself
autonomy
at the
was
very
not
center
without
of
its
that
casualties.
change.
Each incident,
As the
a
pilot
stark
begins
reminder
in
of the
Phoenix,
risk.
the
the
ultimate
eyes of the
test.
tech industry, regulators, investors, and everyday consumers will all be watching closely. Because if Tesla can make robotaxis
This
work here,
interconnectedness
it could
forms the
reshape
Tesla
not only
network,
urban
what a
transportation
vast,
in America,
intelligent
but the
ecosystem
entire
where
way
vehicles,
the world thinks
this
about
integrated
mobility.
ecosystem
When
aims to
Reuters
simplify
reported
and
that
enhance
Tesla
human
had
lives,
received official
freeing up precious
approval
time
to
and
test its
reducing the mental
robotaxi
load of daily
service in
commutes.
Phoenix, Arizona, it confirmed what
In the
many
bustling
in the
heart of San
automotive and
Francisco,
tech world
two
had
pioneers
been
are already
anticipating.
charting the course for autonomous transportation.
Tesla is finally stepping
In the
into
crowded
the same
landscape of
regulatory
automotive
and commercial
innovation,
battleground
Tesla has
that
cultivated
companies like
something
Waymo
beyond
and
mere
Cruise
product recognition.
have already been fighting in.
As the
But
technology
beyond the
matured,
headlines,
the race to
details
scale
provide
began.
crucial context
Companies vied for
about
dominance,
how serious
not
this
just
move
In
is
Phoenix, the
and what
pilot
it could
program
mean
entered a
for
new
Tesla's
phase,
future.
moving beyond controlled environments
The
to the
regulatory
unpredictable
green
reality
light.
of everyday city streets.
According to Reuters,
the real-time data
Tesla
streaming
filed
from
its
the Phoenix
application
pilot
with the
is more
Arizona
than just
Department of
information.
Transportation
It is the
back in
lifeblood
June
of continuous
2025.
improvement.
The approval
As the
means
vision
that
for
Tesla is
autonomous
now
mobility
authorized to begin
expands,
pilot
so too does the
operations
landscape
of its
of
autonomous
opportunity.
ride-hailing
But with
service in the
every-
Phoenix metropolitan area,
As the sun
one of the
dips below
largest
the
and most
horizon,
car-dependent regions
so
in the
too
United
does the
States.
certainty of what lies
There's an
ahead.
important caveat. The initial tests will
In
require
the
a
heart
human
of Silicon
safety
Valley,
driver
under the
inside
California
vehicle.
sun,
This
a
approach
new
is not
race
unusual.
is about to begin.
Even Waymo, widely regarded as a
While the
leader in
foundational
autonomous
work was
vehicle
laid in
technology,
controlled environments,
conducted years
the true
of
test
supervised
began
trials
on public
before
roads.
shifting to fully driverless operations. By agreeing to this condition,
The
Tesla
promise
gains the
on me
opportunity
extended
to
far
gradually
beyond
improve the
mere
reliability
convenience.
of its full
To
self-driving
navigate the
FSD
complexities of the
software
real world,
in
Waymo
complex
relies on a
real-world traffic
sophisticated,
scenarios
multi-layered
without
sensor
spooking
suite.
regulators or the public. Market
Arizona.
opportunity.
In Phoenix,
The
Arizona,
scale of the opportunity
Waymo's
here
driverless
cannot be
taxis are more than
overstated.
just a novelty.
Industry analysts
Behind the
project
wheel of
that the
every
global
Waymo
robotaxi
is not
market
just
could
sophisticated
exceed
AI, but a
$150
team
billion
of dedicated
by
remote
2030.
operators.
In the U.S. alone, Bloomberg NEF forecasts
Behind
that
the wheel of
autonomous
every
ride-hailing
Waymo
services
is not just
could account for a
sophisticated
significant
AI.
share of urban trips within the
For
next
Waymo,
decade,
scaling
potentially
meant not
reducing
just
costs for
technological
consumers
advancement,
by
but an
30 to
unwavering
50%
commitment to
compared
rigorous
to
safety
Uber
values.
or Lyft.
While others focused
Elon
on
Musk has
incremental
never
progress,
shied away from
Cruise,
bold
backed
predictions.
by GM, took a more
He has
aggressive
claimed
approach.
that Tesla's
They saw San
robotaxi
Francisco's
network could reach half
and was
of the
one of
U.S.
aggressive, widespread
population
deployment.
by late
They aim to
T5s or
saturate the
twice
city
offering rides
to become
at
an
a price
undeniable
point
part of its
so
in the
competitive
immediate aftermath.
that owning a
The
traditional
focus
car
shifted from
might no
innovation
longer
to
make economic
investigation.
sense for many people.
Cruise headquarters became a
If
hub
Tesla
of
can
intense
execute
scrutiny.
on even
We need to
part
review
of that
all
vision,
the data immediately.
the revenue implications
This could have
are
significant
massive.
implications for future operations.
Tesla's strategic
Let's ensure every
advantage.
detail is accounted for.
What sets Tesla apart from competitors like Waymo and Cruise is its reliance on a vision-based approach to autonomy. While most of the industry has leaned heavily on LiDAR sensors, expensive hardware that uses lasers to map surroundings, Tesla has doubled down on camera-based perception combined with neural networks. This strategy has been controversial, but it comes with key advantages. Cost efficiency. Cameras are far cheaper to scale than LiDAR systems. Data advantage. Tesla already has millions of vehicles on the road worldwide, constantly feeding data back to the company. Every mile driven with autopilot or FSD engaged enriches Tesla's dataset, giving it a feedback loop that competitors cannot easily replicate. In other words, while Waymo and Cruise operate relatively small fleets of test vehicles, Tesla is effectively training its AI system on a global scale. The risks and skepticism. However, Tesla's approach is not without critics. Safety experts and regulators have repeatedly raised concerns about the limitations of a purely camera-based system. There have been several high-profile crashes involving Tesla's autopilot and FSD features, which has led some watchdogs to question whether the technology is ready for public deployment. Furthermore, Cruise's troubles in late 2023, when it was forced to suspend operations after an accident involving a pedestrian, highlight just how fragile public trust can be. If Tesla were to experience a similar incident during its trials in Phoenix, the backlash could set the company back years. Elon Musk's bold vision. Still, Elon Musk remains steadfast. He has described Robotaxis as the most valuable product Tesla will ever create, claiming that the service could eventually eclipse not only Tesla's car sales, but also the revenues of ride-hailing giants like Uber. At Tesla's Investor Day 2023, Musk went as far as to predict that Tesla could operate a fleet of millions of robotaxis, generating recurring revenue for the company and transforming Tesla from a car manufacturer into a global transportation service provider. He has also tied this vision to Tesla's broader ecosystem. Imagine hailing a Tesla robotaxi powered by the company's own batteries, manufactured at its gigafactories, charged on its proprietary supercharger network, and perhaps even integrated with Tesla's Optimus humanoid robot for in-car assistance. It's an ecosystem play that could redefine what consumers expect from personal and shared mobility. Competitive landscape. Waymo remains Tesla's most formidable rival. The company already operates a fully driverless robotaxi service in parts of Phoenix and San Francisco. Meanwhile, Cruise had been expanding aggressively before its regulatory troubles forced it to scale back. Both companies use LiDAR and high-definition mapping, contrasting sharply with Tesla's camera-based FSD approach. What Tesla brings to the table, however, is brand recognition and consumer trust. While most Americans have never ridden in a Waymo or Cruise vehicle, millions already own or aspire to own a Tesla. That brand loyalty could make the leap to trying a Tesla robotaxi far easier for the average person. What's next? With Arizona's approval, secured Tesla is expected to begin its pilot program later this year. The coming months will be crucial as they will show whether Tesla's system can handle the unique challenges of Phoenix traffic, scorching heat, sprawling highways, and rapid suburban growth. If successful, Tesla could expand its robotaxi testing to other states, gradually building toward Musk's vision of nationwide coverage. But if problems arise, whether technical, legal, or public relations related, the dream of a Tesla robotaxi fleet could face the same roadblocks that have slowed down its competitors. The robotaxi race is not one that Tesla is running alone. Long before Elon Musk promised that Tesla would revolutionize transportation with a self-driving ride-hailing network, other companies had already been pushing hard to make the same dream a reality. Two names dominate the conversation: Waymo, the Alphabet-owned pioneer, and Cruise, the General Motors-backed challenger. Understanding how Tesla compares to these rivals is essential for seeing where this competition might lead. Waymo is widely regarded as the most advanced player in the autonomous vehicle space. Born out of Google's self-driving project back in 2009, Waymo has spent over 15 years perfecting its technology. It has logged more than 20 million miles on public roads, and billions more in simulations. Waymo's cars rely on a combination of sensors, LiDAR, radar, and cameras. This layered approach provides a detailed three-dimensional view of the world, which many experts consider to be safer and more reliable than Tesla's camera-only strategy. In Phoenix, Waymo already operates a fully driverless ride-hailing service. Riders can use an app, much like Uber, to summon a vehicle that arrives without any human driver inside. For Tesla, which is only beginning supervised testing in the same city that sets a very high bar, Cruise took a different path. After being acquired by General Motors in 2016, the company grew quickly and pushed aggressively into real-world deployment. Its robotaxis appeared on the streets of San Francisco, and the company even began charging passengers for driverless rides. For a brief period, Cruise seemed poised to outpace everyone else in scaling autonomous ride-hailing. But in 2023, disaster struck. A Cruise vehicle was involved in a pedestrian accident, and regulators swiftly intervened. California revoked its license, and Cruise suspended all of its operations nationwide. The incident revealed how fragile public trust can be in this industry. Years of progress and billions of dollars of investment were overshadowed by a single tragic event. Even so, Cruise still has the backing of General Motors, one of the largest car makers in the world, and if it can solve its safety and trust problems, it could re-emerge as a serious contender. Tesla, however, has always stood apart. Elon Musk has dismissed LiDAR as unnecessary, calling it a crutch rather than a solution. Tesla's full self-driving system relies exclusively on cameras supported by artificial intelligence and neural networks that interpret the visual world. This philosophy is controversial, but it gives Tesla two big advantages. The first is cost. Cameras are far cheaper than LiDAR, which means Tesla can potentially deploy robotaxis at a much lower price point. The second is data. With millions of Tesla cars already on the road worldwide, the company has access to billions of real-world driving miles. Every trip taken by a Tesla owner contributes to the training of its AI. No other competitor comes close to having this kind of massive, constantly growing dataset. But Tesla's approach also carries risks. Its system has faced criticism due to high-profile crashes involving autopilot and full self-driving. Regulators in the United States have launched investigations, and safety advocates continue to question whether vision alone is enough to guarantee reliability. Unlike Waymo, Tesla has not yet demonstrated a fully driverless service in public, and compared to Cruise's once aggressive rollouts, Tesla is still in the early supervised stage. When you step back and compare the three, the contrast is clear. Waymo represents the cautious, safety-first model, relying on expensive sensors and limited, carefully controlled expansions. Cruise represented speed and ambition, but has been slowed by safety scandals. Tesla represents boldness and scale, betting everything on cameras, AI, and the power of data gathered from millions of customers. The real question is which philosophy will win. Will it be the careful, high-tech approach of Waymo, the manufacturing muscle of Cruise if it can recover, or Tesla's contrarian vision of cheap, scalable robotaxis trained on a global fleet? The answer may not depend only on technology. It may hinge on public trust, regulation, and which company can deliver rides that are not just safe and affordable, but also widely available. One thing is certain: the company that achieves this balance first will redefine urban transportation for decades to come. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. It's early morning in Phoenix. The desert sun is just beginning to rise, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. You step out of your apartment building, reach for your phone, and instead of opening Uber or Lyft, you tap the Tesla app. Within minutes, a sleek electric car silently pulls up in front of you. There's no driver behind the wheel. The doors unlock automatically. You sit down. The car greets you with a calm voice, and off you go, reading your messages, sipping coffee, and watching the world pass by. This isn't a science fiction scene anymore. This is the world Tesla is trying to build, and Arizona is the stage where the story begins. Elon Musk has always been a storyteller at heart. From reusable rockets at SpaceX to brain-computer interfaces at Neuralink, he thrives on painting pictures of futures that seem impossible until they start happening. When he speaks about Tesla's robotaxi service, his voice carries the same conviction. He has called robotaxis the most important product Tesla will ever launch. In fact, he has gone so far as to predict that the majority of Tesla's future value will come not from selling cars, but from operating fleets of self-driving ones. For Musk, the robotaxi is not just a car without a driver. It's a new economic model, a new ecosystem, and a new way of thinking about mobility itself. What makes this vision compelling is not only its ambition, but also its timing. For years, Tesla has promised full self-driving was just around the corner. Critics laughed, investors grew impatient, and safety regulators sharpened their questions. Yet Musk never wavered. He repeatedly insisted that autonomy would come, and when it did, it would come fast. And now, with Arizona's approval in hand, Tesla is finally stepping onto the same battlefield where Waymo and Cruise have already struggled. It feels like the beginning of a new chapter 1 in which Tesla must prove that bold words can become lived reality. Storytelling is central to Tesla's strategy, and Musk is the narrator-in-chief. He often frames robotaxis in simple, almost personal terms. Imagine your car, the one sitting idle in your driveway 90% of the time, going out to work for you. Imagine waking up in the morning and discovering your Tesla made money while you slept. Imagine fleets of cars lowering the cost of transportation so much that many people no longer need to own vehicles at all. These are not just technical promises, they are visions of lifestyle change, and that's what makes them so powerful. But let's pause and ask a harder question. Would you step into a driverless Tesla tomorrow if one pulled up at your door? Would you trust it with your life, with your family sitting in the back seat? This is the emotional core of the story. Technology alone doesn't decide the future. Trust does. Waymo has built trust by moving slowly, carefully, and proving safety first. Cruise lost trust almost overnight due to a tragic accident. Tesla, meanwhile, has to navigate between excitement and skepticism, showing the world that its camera-only approach can be just as safe, if not safer, than its rivals' LiDAR-heavy systems. There's another story hidden here, the story of strategy. Earlier this year, Tesla quietly shifted gears. Rumors suggested that the long-anticipated $25,000 Model 2 had been delayed, perhaps indefinitely. Instead, Tesla's resources began flowing toward robotaxis. This was not an accident. For Musk, building another low-cost electric car may help in the short term, but it won't transform Tesla's destiny. Robotaxis, he believes, will. By reallocating resources, Musk is telling investors and customers alike, the future is not just about cheaper cars, it's about changing the very idea of what a car is. To understand the emotional pull of this shift, think of how we talk about cars today. For over a century, owning a car has meant freedom. The open road, the thrill of driving the control at your fingertips. But in Tesla's new story, freedom means something different. It means being free from driving, free from parking, free from the stress of traffic, free to use your time however you want while the car handles the journey. It's a redefinition of what mobility feels like, wrapped in the same language of liberation that made people fall in love with cars in the first place. Still, skepticism lingers. Some ask, is this just another Elon Musk promise that will take years longer than expected? Others wonder, will regulators and the public ever truly accept cars without drivers? And most importantly, can Tesla's technology actually deliver on the grand narrative? These are fair questions, but they also illustrate the power of the story. Musk is telling. Even skeptics are drawn into the conversation, imagining what a world of robotaxis would look like, weighing the risks against the potential. And that's where the narrative becomes not just Tesla's story, but ours. Each person who hears about robotaxis must decide how they feel: fear, excitement, doubt, curiosity. For Tesla, success depends not only on engineering, but on weaving these emotions into a shared vision of progress. If people believe in the story, they will be more willing to try the ride. If they try the ride and it feels safe, the story becomes reality. And once the story becomes reality, it spreads faster than any marketing campaign could. So picture yourself again on that Phoenix morning. The Tesla pulls up. The door opens. You step inside. The car moves smoothly, confidently, as if it knows the city better than you do. Do you feel nervous? Do you feel amazed? Or do you feel for the first time that the future Musk has been talking about is finally here? The approval for Tesla to test robotaxis in Arizona is more than a regulatory milestone. It could mark the beginning of a new era for transportation. If Tesla succeeds, the effects will ripple far beyond Phoenix, reshaping the ride-hailing industry, the way people think about car ownership, and even the global labor market. For companies like Uber and Lyft, the threat is immediate. Their business model depends on drivers who use their own cars to ferry passengers. But if Tesla can field a fleet of autonomous robotaxis that operate safely and cheaply, those drivers become unnecessary. Riders would no longer need to worry about surge pricing, variable driver quality, or awkward social interactions. Instead, they could summon a Tesla with the tap of an app and enjoy a consistent, quiet, and affordable ride. Analysts suggest that autonomous trips could cost 30 to 50% less than today's Uber or Lyft fares. If that prediction holds true, millions of people might switch overnight, leaving the established ride-hailing giants scrambling to adapt. The impact wouldn't stop there. Private car ownership itself could come under pressure. Elon Musk has often described a future in which personal vehicles spend most of their lives sitting idle, wasting space and money. In his vision, a Tesla could go out and earn income for its owner as a robotaxi when it's not being used. If the economics work, many people may conclude they no longer need to own a car at all. Why shoulder the burden of parking insurance and maintenance when a network of shared Teslas is always available? This shift could shake the very foundations of the automotive industry, which has thrived for more than a century on the assumption that each household needs at least one vehicle. Tesla, unlike its competitors, sits on both sides of this transition. It still manufactures and sells cars, but it also stands to gain by transforming into a mobility provider, earning recurring revenue from rides, rather than relying solely on one-time sales. Of course, there are human consequences to consider. Millions of people in the United States work as professional drivers, whether for taxis, Uber-Lyft delivery services, or long-haul trucking. Autonomous vehicles could displace many of these jobs. Some new roles might emerge in fleet management software oversight and vehicle maintenance, but the number of people affected could still be vast. Policymakers will be forced to decide how to balance innovation with social responsibility, a tension that has surfaced in every industrial revolution and will likely define the public debate around robotaxis. Regulation itself is another looming challenge. Arizona has allowed Tesla to test robotaxis, but only with a safety driver on board. Elon Musk's ultimate goal, however, is a fleet of fully driverless cars. Getting from here to there will not be simple. A single serious accident could derail public confidence, as General Motors Cruise learned in 2023 when an incident in San Francisco forced regulators to pull its vehicles off the streets. Even if statistics show robotaxis are safer than human drivers, public opinion may be shaped more by emotion than by data. Trust not technology may be the decisive factor. Cities, too, could be reshaped by the rise of autonomous fleets. If robotaxis become mainstream, parking lots may no longer dominate downtown real estate. Curb space could be redesigned for constant pickups and drop-offs. Traffic patterns might improve if fleets of self-driving cars communicate with one another to smooth congestion. At the same time, cheaper and more convenient rides could encourage more people to travel by car, potentially increasing traffic instead of reducing it. Urban planners will face new dilemmas about how to integrate robotaxis into already complex transportation systems. The global implications are equally significant. While the Arizona decision is a U.S. development, the whole world is watching. China is already running robotaxi pilots through companies like Baidu's Apollo Go. Europe, traditionally more cautious, may feel pressure to accelerate once it sees large-scale deployments in the U.S. Tesla's international reach gives it an advantage. Its cars are already on roads in dozens of countries, and if its full self-driving software proves itself in Phoenix, Tesla could theoretically activate robotaxi functionality worldwide, with software updates scaling faster than competitors who rely on limited hand-built fleets. The trends to watch are clear even without bullet points. If Tesla's pilot works, Phoenix will be just the beginning, followed by expansions into other states like Texas, Nevada, or California. Robotaxis may integrate more deeply with Tesla's ecosystem, connecting to Supercharger's renewable energy and perhaps even Optimus humanoid robots managing fleets. The model of car ownership could shift towards subscription-style access, much like Netflix, changed media consumption. And the race won't remain an American story. Chinese competitors are pushing hard, and Europe will not want to be left behind. Above all, public trust will become the battleground that determines who wins. In the big picture, Tesla's approval in Arizona represents a leap into the future. It hints at a world where cars no longer need drivers, where rides are cheaper and cleaner, and where cities may look completely different. But the road forward is filled with challenges, technical, social, and regulatory. Whether Tesla triumphs or falters, the decisions made in the next few years will help decide not only the future of the company, but the future of mobility itself. As we step back and look at the larger picture, it becomes clear that Tesla's approval to test robotaxis in Arizona is more than just a local story. It represents a bold attempt to redefine how we think about cars, transportation, and even our relationship with technology itself. For over a century, cars have symbolized independence and freedom, machines that gave us control over our own mobility. Now, Tesla is asking us to imagine a new kind of freedom, the freedom from driving, the freedom from the costs and responsibilities of ownership, and the freedom to reclaim time that would otherwise be spent behind the wheel. Arizona has become the starting point for this experiment, just as it did years ago when Waymo began testing its own self-driving service there. The desert highways and sprawling suburbs of Phoenix are now a testing ground for Tesla's vision. What happens here could echo across the country and the world. If the pilot goes smoothly, Tesla may expand quickly into other states, creating a domino effect that accelerates the adoption of autonomous mobility. But if the trial falters, if accidents occur, if regulators lose patience, or if the public rejects the idea, the dream could stall just as it has for other players in this space. Elon Musk has never hidden the scale of his ambition. He believes robotaxis will not only change Tesla's future, but will also change the very fabric of modern life. For investors, it is a promise of recurring revenue on a scale the automotive industry has never seen. For consumers, it is a promise of cheaper, safer, more convenient rides. For cities, it is a chance to rethink infrastructure. Yet for society at large, it also brings uncertainty. Jobs will be displaced, laws will need to be rewritten, and public trust will need to be earned one ride at a time. That is the paradox of progress. Every great technological leap brings both opportunity and disruption. When the automobile first replaced the horse and carriage, skeptics worried about safety, pollution, and social change. Today, we cannot imagine life without cars. The same may happen with robotaxis. What seems unsettling now could within a decade feel as natural as ordering food through an app. But the question remains, will Tesla be the company that makes this vision a reality? Its contrarian approach, using cameras instead of LiDAR, betting on data from millions of vehicles already in use, pushing software updates at an unmatched pace, could either be the masterstroke that allows rapid global scaling, or the gamble that proves too risky. The answer lies not just in algorithms and hardware, but in whether people like you and me are willing to step into that driverless car, close the door, and trust it to take us home. And that brings us to you, the audience. When you picture yourself standing on a Phoenix sidewalk, watching a sleek Tesla roll up without anyone behind the wheel, what do you feel? Excitement at the future, fear of the unknown, or simple curiosity to try it for yourself? These emotions are not abstract. They will decide whether robotaxis become mainstream. If people embrace the vision, Tesla could lead a global transformation of mobility. If they hesitate, the journey may take much longer. As this story unfolds, one thing is certain: the world is changing, and Tesla is determined to be at the center of that change. Arizona is just the beginning. The next few years will reveal whether Elon Musk's promises turn into reality or remain just another chapter in the long saga of autonomous driving. So, I leave you with this question. If a Tesla robotaxi pulled up in front of your house tomorrow morning, doors open, ready to drive you anywhere without a human at the wheel, would you get in? And if you want to keep following this journey to see where Tesla's bold experiment leads, make sure to subscribe to the channel, share your thoughts in the comments, and join the conversation. Because whether you are excited, skeptical, or simply curious, the future of transportation is being written right now, and it's a story you won't want to miss.